Welcome to sportsbookreview.com. It's the Premier League. It's week 27. And listen, settle yourselves down because we absolutely smashed it last week. The parlay was in. A couple of individual parlays were in. We had winners. And honestly, I had to go and have a lay down. We had like Liverpool win -1, Spurs -1. Listen, it was just one of those where you win 3 or 4 units in the Premier League and then you go and chuck it away in the Serie A. It was before that, it was all Serie A and then chuck it away on Premier League. You just can't get it right. But if you like this video, then please subscribe, press the button, ring the bell. Ring the bell means I'll notify you. You'll never miss any content again. And that will be a bonus because you've got La Liga tomorrow. But next week, it's the Champions League and Europa League coming back. I've got Matt, I've got Martin. Talking to Martin, you press the link in the description. That'll take you over to an article wrote by either Martin or Alex or Tan or Eric. But every other sport that we cover here on SBR also has an article. Some articles, there's no videos. So you've got more articles than you've got videos. So there's plenty of meat on the bone over there. Before we go on to speak to Martin and Matt, it's March Madness, NCAAB. It's bonkers. It's entertaining. We love it. Last year we missed it. This year we cannot wait. Zook, what you got for me?
March Madness is just around the corner, and we at the Three Man Weave are here to tell you we have you covered. So make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel SBR Sports Picks, Matthew, for all your video needs.
Jim, if you want more, that's not enough. SBR also has a dedicated March Madness headquarters. You can find picks, videos, news, and an updated bracket over at sbrpicks.com/March-Madness, Kai.
All you have to do now is sit back, relax, and let the games begin.
Got quite a few big teams. Baylor, Zags, Michigan. Got a few little shekels on Louisville and Maryland, even though they got stuffed last night, and a little bit of LSU. But it's all a bit of fun. Tell you what's not fun is our records. Martin, we did all right last week. We started eating into it, but we've got to have maybe another 10 weeks of pure profits.
Oh, glad to hear it, Flash. Glad we're clawing a bit back. Yeah, I'm ahead for the season overall in my various different guises, but yeah, perhaps this show is lagging a little bit behind. But this is the time of year that we really should be hopefully making profit when we got a good idea of the trends, the way teams are playing. So hopefully we've got some solid weeks ahead of us.
Yeah, Matt, you like to bust my balls with your selections. You put them in at the 11th hour, then you change them. Then you add them, then you change them, and you have the audacity to say, Flash, ball buster here.
That is me. And maybe that's been my demise this season. It just hasn't been good enough. Too many ball busters week in and week out, I guess. I've got to clean that up. But yeah, we've got 1 quarter basically left of the season. I think this has got to be our quarter. It's the 4th quarter.
Oh.
It's now. It's now or never, really, right?
Yeah, I feel like Tom Brady. I feel like Tom Brady's got to come up with at least 3 touchdowns because I feel as if we're that far behind. But Zook, you're the man at the wheel. Give us our records, please. And listen, I'm quite happy with -25 because honestly, it could have been so much worse. Martin at $7.99. That's how much my trainers used to cost. Matt catching me up. You know, you're meant to try and keep further away from me at $18.39. Flash -25. The team parlay came up last week as well. That's at 0.07. If you take away the dot, it's James Bond 007. Team total. Got to get it under 50 and then under 40 and so on. So let's crack on, gentlemen, because there's some really good games. Obviously, we've got the Manchester Derby, but there's a few games that are going to throw up some plenty value. This first one could be just it, Martin. It's Burnley +460, draw +310, and Arsenal at -135. Arsenal's shown a little bit more teeth, but we need them to go on a run and not just do it 1 week, nothing, 1 week.
Yeah, the reverse fixture was one of the most frustrating games of the season for an Arsenal fan. We were absolutely killing Burnley. It was clearly Arsenal were going to go and win. And then a moment of idiocy from Granit Xhaka got himself sent off and it all just fell apart. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang scored an own goal and we lost 1-0. But Arsenal were very dominant in that game. If they play like they did in that match at Turf Moor and keep 11 men on the pitch, then I'm convinced they'll win the game. Coming into this with pretty good momentum right now, back-to-back wins against Benfica and Leicester, who are two decent teams, I think should really go there and beat Burnley, who aren't in great form. Decent odds on the Arsenal win, throwing under 4.5 goals to get a bit more value. Looks good to me.
Yeah, I don't think you're ever going to get 4 goals, or it's never really been seen 4 goals at Burnley. Burnley seem to be better away from home. Counter-attack, frustrate, like they did at Anfield, like they did at the Emirates. Matt, do you see Burnley getting anything out of this game against Arsenal?
No, I don't. It's one of those where Burnley, for me, is kind of stuttering right now a bit. And Arsenal have looked better of recent, in my opinion. And I've gone with the same bet as Martin. Arsenal and under 4.5 goals. I think it's still tight and cagey. I think that Burnley can hang around for a little bit. But I do see this one as Arsenal being able to win this by a margin. I see this as a winning to nil potential for them. I don't see where the goals really will come from Burnley. We know that, when they throw balls into the box, things can get chaotic and they somehow pounce and score. But if Arsenal or just keep their focus here, I think it's really going to be difficult for Burnley to score.
Yeah, and obviously the big problem we've got now is having VAR. Is you could be absolutely cruising in the game 2-0 up, win to nil, and then all of a sudden some fictitious. I don't even know. Sometimes it's like, where does that penalty come from? It would never be a penalty in open play. And some busy ref buzzes down and says, I think you should have another look at that. And everything looks worse in slow motion. I've actually gone near off the same as you two as well. I've gone with Arsenal and under 3.5. I couldn't go with my normal bet of Arsenal over 1.5 because, as surprisingly as it is, I think Arsenal could win this 1-0. So I've took out the under 1.5. And I've gone for over 1.5. I've gone for Arsenal to win and under 3.5. Next game, you've got to be absolutely bonkers to go near. Matt, Sheffield United plus 250, draw plus 255, Southampton plus 125 on the back of 9 defeats.
Yes, this was the ball buster pick of the week for me. At first, I was looking at Sheffield United on the double chance just because Southampton had been in such poor form. But the more and more I really did some more digging of it, and I noticed that Sheffield United, their defense really is in disarray right now. I mean, they just have so many issues, injuries. Their main starters are out. Yes, they picked up a nice victory in the midweek, but I see Southampton being a little bit more difficult to play, and Southampton will have that front four that I personally do like, and the front two especially, but it's one of those that I think I've completely flipped on, and I believe that Southampton will probably get back to winning ways here. I think that this is their chance. It's the worst team in the league. This is their best opportunity to take this losing streak and crush it and finally bounce back here. So I believe that Southampton will be too much for it, but I have left it for now.
Yeah, the plus 125 is quite tempting because I tell you what, Southampton were a lot better than the result when they got beat at Goodison the other night. They could have gone 2-0 down. VAR came in and it was right. It shouldn't have been a goal. But after that, they puffed, but they were never really in any problems of going 2-0 down. They had chances to get maybe back into it, Martin. Plus 125 could look nice at the end of 90 minutes.
Yeah, I think this is a really difficult one to call on the outrights because Sheffield United have been markedly improved in 2021, whereas Southampton are enduring a dreadful run of form. They broke it up with that win against Wolves in the Cup, and they drew with Chelsea, which was a decent result. But yeah, they have been pretty poor ever since they took that 9-0 hiding against Man United. It finished 3-0 to Southampton when they met earlier in the season, just in December. But since then, Southampton have massively regressed, whereas Sheffield United are improving. I still think they'll go down, but they've given themselves a fighting chance now, and I think they'll be fighting for every ball here. I don't see this one being a classic. I think it's going to be a pretty drab affair, so I've gone for under 2.5 goals.
Yeah, I mean, what price is that? Because it seems too obvious. It looks a little bit like the game the other day, which I think was it Burnley? Not Burnley. The Aston Villa game, Sheffield United, Aston Villa, under 2.5. It was just the one. It looks like the way to go. What price is it?
Minus 136.
Yeah, Okay, no worries. Moving on to the next game, though, Martin. It's Midlands Derby. It's Aston Villa at plus 140. Draw plus 245. And Wolves at plus 220. They tell me that Grealish may well be back. But there was alarm bells for me in the way that Villa played the other day. They weren't really tracking. They thought that they were better than they were. And they ended up with nothing.
Well, that's the problem, and you can't have that attitude against a team like Sheffield United, who scrap for every ball. They're a high-energy team. I think they did really miss Grealish. They missed that creative spark. When you take him and Barkley out of the team, they haven't got anyone that's unlocking the defence, really. So, Watkins looked a little bit exposed up front in that game. I think they'll struggle again against Wolves. I think Wolves are pretty similar to Sheffield United. They're technically better, but they work really hard and they keep their shape and they're disciplined and they're organised and they're improving. You know, the results have been decent for Wolves after a dreadful spell during the winter. I thought they were quite competitive against Man City until they leaked those 2 goals at the very end, but it wasn't the worst performance from Wolves. I think this is just a really difficult game to analyse, really. Big Midlands derby, but can't really work out which way it's going to go. I'd be looking at another unders game, but I'd wait to see the starting lineup, see if Grealish plays. If he's out, I would be fancying maybe Wolves draw no bet or Wolves double chance.
Yeah, I put lineup check. I also put half-time draw, Matt.
Yeah, this one does look pretty good. I see 0-0 here at halftime, and I see an unders game like Martin is talking about. You know, even if Grealish does play, I think that maybe that would move this line a bit to more of an overs line, but I would still play the unders here. I just don't see where the goals really come from in this Midlands derby. And right now, as of today, I would be on the underdog if I had to play it as well. So that's just kind of where I've left it. But under 2.5 right now is at minus 150. You know, it's a little bit high, but I think it's probably worth a look, and it's probably the best play on the board for this match.
Tell you what, under 1.5 might be a bit closer to the plus 100, but they wouldn't put anyone off of the 0-0, then maybe cash out of that after like an hour or 70 minutes. But Matt, moving on, it's Brighton plus 185, draw plus 230, and I hope I haven't got this wrong, but Leicester at plus 165. Is a no Vardy, Maddison, Barnes, Ndidi. Are they playing the kids or something? Matt?
Yeah, there'll be no Barnes, I know that, and no Maddison. So this line is flipped. Brighton are now plus 160. Leicester are plus 180. That's around there. So, oh gosh, I mean, I feel like we could have a whole show dedicated to Brighton, guys. What they've done here is tremendous, and how they've found ways to lose matches. It's truly remarkable. When you just look at some of the different XG numbers and you really dive in to all of those things, like how they are getting beat to Crystal Palace, how they're getting beat to West Brom. It's truly tremendous, guys. I really hope that you guys have looked into that stuff, because it's just ridiculous. But that's kind of where I see this match is a draw. Brighton only have 5 wins on the season, guys. They're draw machines. I think a point against Leicester would be decent for them, and that's just where I've left it, with no Barnes, no Maddison. I think that this is going to be kind of cagey as well. I know that both managers want to play more, better, with a better style, but I do kind of see this as being cagey, and I think the draw has some value here. So I locked in the draw at plus 230.
Martin, is this just like one of your both teams to score and do one?
It is a reasonably good bet with Brighton, but I'm not so sure. I don't really like the look of this game, to be honest, Flash, just because of the injuries that Leicester have got. They played Ndidi at the back in their last game against Burnley, with Mendy in midfield and Chowdhury and Castagna. There's no creativity whatsoever in that midfield. Tielemans was sort of playing quite out on the left for most of it. He's their sort of best player in the middle.
I'm still reeling on their performance against Sparta Prague.
It's all falling apart for them. I'm a bit fearful of what's going to happen. This happened last season. They were great for 3/4 of it, and then they fell apart at the end, fell out of the top four. And it looked like they'd learned their lesson and they were going to be better this time around. But they don't have a large squad. As soon as you have a couple of injuries, it's a problem. And just like Aston Villa missed Maddison, Grealish, I think Leicester are going to miss Maddison. Jamie Vardy and Iheanacho looked okay as a strike partnership, but they missed width. They missed the pace of Harvey Barnes, who looks like he's going to be out for a while. Whereas Brighton, like Matt said, you can't really bet on Brighton at the moment. They're the expected points tally puts them in the top four, but they're actually languishing just above the relegation zone because they've been so wasteful in front of goal. They're not taking their chances. They've been a bit unlucky at the back, but they're contriving to lose games that they should win. So, for that reason, I think I've got past this one.
Yeah, listen, they shift the ball really well. They're passing, moving, just don't finish off their chances. But listen, I remember them going to Leicester and giving Leicester a lesson as well. Maybe both teams score, but maybe the safest way is either go down the middle, which is a draw, or you leave it alone. And if you're leaving that game alone, then Martin, West Brom plus 150, draw plus 230, Newcastle plus 210. How are Newcastle not favourites? Is this another unders game? Or has Steve Bruce got his eyes about this big thinking, here's 3 points?
I think he will have. He'll definitely have earmarked this as a game that his team should be winning. But it is all quite well set up for Newcastle to win. They've had longer to rest. West Brom are playing right now as we speak. They're on the brink of a defeat, a narrow defeat. But I think, the odds are kind of looking like that because West Brom have looked a lot tougher in recent weeks. I think they're starting to buy into Allardyce's philosophy a bit. Losing 1-0 to Everton isn't the end of the world. Everton have been in good form. They drew with Man United. They drew with Burnley despite having a man sent off. They nicked a victory against Brighton, who we just spoke about. So I can't really oppose them right now, especially when Newcastle are in such bad form, missing Callum Wilson, got a few injuries. I'd be looking at another unders game. I'd be looking at under 2.5 or maybe even under 1.5. Don't think this is going to be a classic.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a game that when you have two ugly sisters, Matt, then you're better off walking home and going home single.
Yes.
What if you've got one personality flash, or
What do you mean? If you got listen, if you see them and they're like not worth talking to, you're not going to find out about their personality.
What if they're multimillionaires?
So what? You can't kiss money.
I can kiss money. I'll get money out right now. I'll kiss it.
Yeah, no, not for me. West Brom, Newcastle.
I know. It's just that was a good one. I think that was really good. So here, when I look at this one, Almiron out, Saint Maximum out. It's a really square look for me. But where's the creativity coming from Newcastle here? West Brom are going to give everything for this game. Flash, you've mentioned that many times. I mean, they're in last place. They are going to throw the kitchen sink at it. You know what I mean? And I think that they sneak away here with the 1-0 or the 2-0 type of situation. I have no interest in betting on Newcastle here with those players out. Where Wilson, I mean, their front three is gone, and they don't have a deep squad as it is. So Newcastle is going to be sitting back against West Brom. West Brom might actually have the ball here. I don't know. It'll be interesting, but I don't see West Brom being beat here. So I've gone West Brom, draw no bet.
Wow, West Brom draw no bet. Okay, both teams to score no might have been a good way to go as well, but I doubt if that's going to be much juice. That's almost as bad as the unders in the Villa Wolves game at minus 150. Liverpool minus 330, Matt. Draw plus 500. Fulham plus 1100. I think this is not going to be as easy as most people would think. I mean, Liverpool at minus 330. Do they win to nil, or do Fulham score? And then that means you're going to get value.
I mean, the fact that Liverpool are still being priced this high is a little bit outrageous to me. I think that the look here would be Fulham grabbing, the handicap, grabbing the Asian handicap, getting as many goals on your side as possible.
What would they give? Like 2.5 would be around even money?
No, I'll double check on it, but it's going to be like 1.5. You're going to get 1.5 at around evens probably. So you're just going to get
So
that
if
one.
if you get 1.5 or 1.25 and Liverpool win by 1 goal, do you win the full amount?
Yes, yeah, you would win then. And that is, I see this game being decided by 1 goal. And I mean, Fulham right now, I think that they were really hard done by, Flash. I know that you're on Spurs, so I'm rooting you on as always. But I thought that they were really hard done in the second half by Tottenham. They've completely gone after them. They deserve the goal.
Has the game finished in Spurs?
It's about to be finished. It's got a couple minutes left. But I just, it's one of those to me where it's Fulham have looked really good against Spurs, and Spurs are playing relatively well here. We'll talk about them here in a couple matches, but I just don't see Liverpool really being able to keep the back door closed. I think that Fulham probably will score. They scored in the reverse fixture. That one ended 1-1. I kind of see something here too, like a 1-1. It looks okay to me. And plus 1.5 just for anyone is minus 110. So that's where I would probably be looking at for this match.
And Liverpool just not got their eyes on the top 4, Martin, and they're going to start winning games comfortably again. Clean sheet, keep the clean sheet. We know we'll score at some stage.
Yeah, it's really difficult to analyse Liverpool at the moment because they're the Premier League champions and they've got world-class players, but they've got injury problems and they've got confidence issues. So they're a very difficult team from a handicapping perspective. But yeah, I fancy them to win this one. I think in a quite a low-scoring manner. It was, like Matt just said, it was 1-1 in the reverse fixture back in December. So it's definitely a difficult game for Liverpool. But at Anfield, against the team that are in the relegation zone, come on. I know they've got their injury problems. They're missing their centre halves, but you'd expect them to dominate the game. You'd expect them to have all the possession, to control the game in midfield, to get their fullbacks high up the pitch. I think they can find a breakthrough. I think I've gone for Liverpool and under 3.5 goals. Yeah, got plus 115 on that, which looks like a good set of odds to me. Yeah, I could see a 2-0 Liverpool, 2-1 maybe. Difficult game because Fulham are in good form, but I think Liverpool...
Maybe 3-0.
Yeah.
Good athletes.
That's a good way to go.
Good athletes. They're always going to be able to compete. It's just whether they've got the quality. And you've got to take your chances in the Premier League, because if you don't, over 90 minutes, the other team will. Okay. I think we're going to be polarised here. I think there's going to be all sorts of... it's Man City, Man United. If you've got a view in the chat, then get yourself typing, because Man City, minus 165. Draw, plus 330. Man United, plus 585. Well, I don't even know who to go to first. I'm going to come to you, Matt.
Unders. It's another top 6 clash. Those have been coming in thick and fast, under 3 goals. It's going to be around minus 130-ish, so you have the push on your side. But Man City are going to completely control this match, and we know how lethal Manchester United can be on the break. This match was really a dreary 0-0 the last time they went out. I expect this one to be fairly cagey as well. United coming off a 0-0 against Crystal Palace. That is not the kind of form that you're wanting to take into a match against Man City, the eventual champions here. I think Manchester City win this 1-0, to be honest. I think that they can control it as long as they can keep Rashford and Martial in check on the counter attack, which will be that's where this match is going to be all played. It's going to be 70% Man City. Can United hit them on the break? Maybe they can, but I think the most sensible play here is under 3 goals, another top 6 clash going unders. And I think that if you want to get on a side, Man City win 0 at plus 170 is the way that I would look.
Yeah, Martin, I can see Man United getting something out of this game, whether it be 1-1 or 1-0, but I can also see Man City. Well, I've actually just not complicated and gone with the unders.
Yeah, I guess everyone remembers that game when Man City were on a long unbeaten streak and Pogba scored twice and Man United won 3-2, sort of didn't derail, but delayed the title procession a few seasons ago. But I just think Man City should be too good for them here. It's just the squad rotation that Guardiola's been able to do in recent weeks. Haven't got any injury problems at the moment. De Bruyne's back. He's just been able to shuffle his pack in every game, keep key players fresh. You could see it in the end against Wolves. They were still really fit and hungry. They put 2 in at the end, wrapped up a 4-1 win. They're just coming into this game with so much momentum. 21 wins in a row in all competitions, whereas Man United have just been miserable. 3 consecutive 0-0 draws. I know they're going to try and play a bit more with the handbrake off in this game, but it's going to be difficult for them because Man City dominate possession. I can just see them picking off Man United in a low scoring victory. I've got Man City in under 4.5 goals. I've got -105 on that.
And you're getting it all for the Man City win, really, because I don't see 4.5 goals in the game. I think them days are gone. Okay. Martin, your favourite other side in North London is obviously Spurs at -150, draw +375, and Palace -650. Palace have been an absolute joke, even though they've picked up 3 points away at Brighton, and I do not know how. I like Spurs here. I think Spurs score minimum 2 or 3. So I've gone with Spurs at -1.5 as well.
Yeah, maybe, but Crystal Palace have a tendency to let us down as bettors. I think they're a really tricky side. I would have expected them to go on a pretty bad losing streak at the moment, given that Zaha's been missing. You know, they've found a way to scrape their way to a few. They're unbeaten in 3 games. I do think if Spurs show up, they should win it quite comfortably, but. No, I don't like the look of this game at all. They held Man United to a 0-0 draw. Luck seems to be in their favour right now. They are quite solid, Crystal Palace. They only had 37% of possession against Man United, but they keep their shape. They work hard. I think they'll be organised in this game. Yeah, I could see Spurs low scoring victory maybe, but yeah, don't really like betting against Crystal Palace, so I'm leaving it.
Yeah, 2-0 we like. Matt?
Okay, so I'm looking and I'm thinking about what just happened against Fulham as well and what happened here in the reverse fixture. Spurs take a 1-0 lead, and then they just were sitting back and waiting to get scored on for the rest of the 90 minutes, and Palace ended up doing that and equalizing here. Look, I think that Spurs win this match. I don't know if I'm confident enough to say that they win it by a margin. I think one of the better angles maybe to take is kind of like what happened today against Fulham. Spurs in the first half, -110. That looks like maybe the way to go here. Because they just consistently, they look terrible today in the second half, really. So I don't want to be on their side in the second half, but I would like to be in and out after 45 minutes. I think that Spurs get the job done in 45 minutes. And I'm more than happy to include Spurs in some kind of parlay to win the match. But that's really where I see this one. Palace have been, like Martin touched on, the one side they've crushed I know they've crushed me. I think they've crushed us all a little bit because they are playing so poorly, but they somehow, it goes back to match day 1. I remember I had Southampton and they completely dominated Crystal Palace and they ended up losing the match. That is how it has gone this season. Roy Hodgson knows what he's doing. There's no doubt about that. He knows how to sit back, keep the games close. But my gosh, their football they play is terrible to watch. And that's just what I see here, though. I think that maybe
some good
Spurs
individuals,
get it done
though, and that's the other one. It's the London derby. Whenever there's a London derby, some teams, they up their game. I've gone with Spurs -1.5. I definitely see Spurs winning at half-time. I think that is probably a good way to go because they can throw away a lead. They are very sloppy and almost a little bit arrogant. Next game, I've got a firm view, Matt. Firm view. Chelsea at -165. Draw +320. And Everton a massive +550. I think Chelsea win this game comfortably because I think Everton have got away with absolute murder. They shouldn't have beaten Southampton. They won 1-0, fair enough. They've just gone to West Brom and won 1-0, so they're keeping clean sheets, they're keeping games tight. But I've gone with Chelsea to win and under 3.5. I think this is maybe even a win to nil for Chelsea. I see this being 2-0, maybe 2-1. if Richarlison gets a consolation.
Yeah, this seems like an unders match to me. I think that under is the way to look. There is one stat that I remember looking at, and it is like Everton are unbeaten at halftime in their last like 15 matches under Carlo Ancelotti. So, I mean, that's something to think about. Maybe you can get on Everton like plus a quarter in the first half or a draw no bet in the first half. But I agree. I had both teams to score in Everton, Southampton, and Southampton were completely dominant of the football against Everton. That's the way that this one is going to pan out. And Everton had no bite on the counterattack whatsoever. I know that you saw that match as well, Flash. They had no bite on the counterattack. They were great on set pieces because Southampton's defense on set pieces is shockingly bad. But yeah, no, I think that unders is the way to look here. I think it's going to be tight. I think it might be a little bit closer than what you're thinking, Flash, but I think that Chelsea probably win it by a goal, but I think it just stays under 2.5 around even money. Looks good to me.
I've said this for a while now. Someone is going to get absolutely whooped by this Chelsea side when they all start scoring on the same day. Please don't let it be this weekend, because I've gone for under 3.5 for a little bit more value than the under 4.5, Martin.
Yeah, I think this looks like an unders game. Chelsea have been very dominant in all of their matches since Thomas Tuchel replaced Frank Lampard. If you just look at the possession stats, it's
patience.
Tells a story, doesn't it? They dominate games, they smother the opposition. It's been very effective. It has led to them drawing a few games that you would have expected them to win. And I also think this is going to be an unders game. I think it's going to be quite a tight, intense one because Carlo Ancelotti left Sigurdsson on the bench for this match. James Rodriguez is out. So they had no playmaker. So they just had lots of players that were ready to scrap for every ball against West Brom. And yeah, I think they'll be in containment mode for a lot of this game. They'll let Chelsea have a lot of the ball, but I think they'll keep their shape and discipline, and they'll defend quite intently. So yeah, I'd be looking at unders as well. But Everton have surprised quite a few people recently, so I'm not sure about betting on Chelsea at -165. Definitely leaning towards Chelsea, but a bit concerned that it might finish a draw.
Yeah, I'm happy to go with Chelsea, to be honest, as long as they don't go and win 4-0 or 4-1 or even 3-1, to be fair. Now, the success stories this season outside of the top four and a couple of the top six sides not doing so well is West Ham at +105, Martin, draw +275, and Leeds at +250. Both entertaining, both get points, both score goals, both let goals in. Are West Ham going to be too strong for these Leeds boys, or will Leeds put them under pressure, not allow them to have their own way, and come away with 3 points?
I think West Ham should be too strong, yeah. I think he's a manager of the season contender, David Moyes. They've just dropped out of the top four because Everton just overtook them, and Chelsea actually, to move into fourth place. But for West Ham to be in fifth with 12 games remaining of the season is a phenomenal achievement, and what a great job he's done there. Cleared out all the players that didn't fit in with the culture, and yeah, I just think they're the new Everton. They're what Everton were like under David Moyes, and if he stays there, I think they've got a good few years ahead of them. Yeah, I just think they're going to be too strong and too tactically astute for Leeds in this game. They're a bit kamikaze-like the way they play football, Leeds. They put too many men forward, and a team that are quite intelligent and disciplined like West Ham, I would expect them to take their opportunities and go on and win this game. Yeah, I'm going for the home win.
Anytime goal scorer, Antonio. Matt.
Why not?
Okay. I love Antonio. I mean, what he's done over the last, 12 to 18 months is pretty remarkable. He's completely...
Jesus, 8 years ago we had him on loan. 8 years ago we had him on loan at Southampton when he was a young boy at Reading, and he's now really settled in. Yeah, he's one of those. He's a powerhouse. But he seems
and
to
what
have grown
position
in
was
stature.
what position was he playing then 8 years ago?
Right wing.
Right wing, because he's played right back for West Ham, and now he is I don't want to call him a star striker in the league, but he's up there. I mean, he's getting there. He's really tough to beat right now. He's good in the air, big, strong, fast. He's got good runs. So I do like Antonio, and I like his work ethic. But this one is really tough to figure out for me. I've left it. I like West Ham. I think that Martin has the right side here with West Ham. They should be too much. But it's so hard for me not to look at Alex Classics with Leeds. It really is. I mean, I know that West Ham has been a lot better defensively than past seasons, and that is due to Moyes. And I think that you guys have it spot on with him being the manager of the year in this league. And so it's a tough one for me to unpack, really. I think that Alex Classic is more than fair, though, at -110 in this with a Leeds match.
Yeah, -110 for the Alex Classic, which is both teams to score and over 2.5 goals. Now, get your thoughts in the chat. We need 2 teams to go forward for our 2-team parlay. Zook, stick up the picks, please, mate. Okay, Martin's picks. He's gone for Man City to win and under 3.5 goals at +110. Leeds, Alex Classic at -133. Leicester, both teams to score, -122. Liverpool and under 4.5 goals, -133.
Flash,
Matt's pick.
Can I just you've missed Arsenal and under 4.5 against Burnley. That's my other pick.
Oh, yeah, no worries. I will say that anyway. Yeah, I knew that was the case, but just obviously I've not put it on there. So, Zook, my problem, mate. That was my fault. Please put your hand up and acknowledge. Matt's picks, Arsenal and under 4.5 at -110. And also the same as Martin's. Man City to win and under 4.5 at -105. West Ham, straight win, don't complicate it, +110. West Brom, draw no bet at -140. Craziness. Man City, under 2.5 goals in a game at +110. Spurs, -1.5 at +130. Arsenal, and under 3.5 goals at +135. I thought that was great value, as I do the bottom one. Chelsea to win, and under 3.5 goals at +125. 2-team parlay, please, Matt.
I don't think any of those were my picks, Flash.
I think, yeah, it might have been a little off. You did somehow get West Brom, draw no bet in there, though, which is great. Yeah. And I'm going to look like a complete fool if they don't win that one. But
right, hang on.
I'll tell you my picks if you like.
Hang on. I'll just come back to you. Don't worry. I've got it all here.
Right. I'm definitely
okay. Arsenal. Right. Okay. Arsenal. These are Matt's pick. These are Martin's picks. Okay. Arsenal and under 4.5 goals against Burnley at -110. Sheffield United versus Southampton, under 2.5 goals at -136. Liverpool and under 3.5 goals versus Fulham at +115. Man City and under 4.5 goals versus Man United at -105. And West Ham to beat Leeds at +110. Okay, so we've sorted that out. Now let's go to Matt's. Arsenal and under 4.5, so it's the same -110. Brighton, Leicester draw +230. And West Brom draw no bet at -140 against Newcastle. Correct, Matt?
Yep. Happy,
Mark?
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on there. There's gremlins. Don't worry about it, Zook. I mean that. Don't worry, mate. Because it'll probably be me, not you. 2-team parlay, gents.
I'm ready. Parlay. Okay. It's going to be one that I don't have a selection on, which is classic for this. And don't get mad at me, Flash, but I don't see more than 2.5 goals in Villa Wolves. It's -150. I think that's a fine parlay piece.
Okay, under 2.5, Villa. Okay, next one.
I'm going to have to go for the form team, Man City, and under 4.5 goals against Man United.
Can you not let me talk you out of that and just go straight Arsenal win at -135?
Yeah, I'd totally happily go for a straight Arsenal win. I just don't want everyone on the chat to start going, it's because he supports Arsenal.
No. Honestly, I think they've done all right for us recently. That's what we're doing. Villa, under 2.5 goals in the game at -150. Arsenal, straight win at -135. Now, you like this video, then please subscribe, press the button, and ring the bell. Ring the bell means you'll know that it's La Liga tomorrow morning with Martin and Roman, and we'll have Champions League and Europa League next week. Also, press the link in the description. That will take you over to the articles wrote by either Martin or Tan or Alex, Eric. Every single sport that we cover here on SBR, and some that we don't cover on the videos, will be accompanied by articles over on the site. So please go over and enjoy. Hopefully, I'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to go and find out now what happened to my graphic, because I think that I've got to take responsibility for that. So please enjoy, and we'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Mark. You take care.